Turner Motorsports driver Jason Leffler to the fold. Good morning, Jason.
What's happening?
How are you?
You tell us.
I'm all right. I was listening to the headlines there, so I'm up on my racing news now.
Okay, good. Good to know. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, you got your Turner Motorsports teammate there, Justin Allgaier, right near the top of the point standings, as you are sniffing around the top of the point standings.
Yeah, we're trying to improve. If everybody at Turner Motorsports is working really hard. We just got to get to run a little better. This past weekend wasn't good for us. We struggled most of the weekend and didn't qualify good. Weren't even a factor in the race. So just working hard to try to get our cars handling and motors run. Pit crew's awesome. Team's great. So we need to get that great clips car up front, and Richmond's a good place to do that.
What was missing for you in Nashville over the weekend? I could tell you were struggling. I looked at you at one point, and man, it was just one of them days, I guess.
Yeah, it was one. Yeah, I guess so. We just lacked grip. Car wouldn't turn, and then it was loose off. So we think we found some issues. We had a couple things happen during the race, and with the car that didn't help our cause any. So everybody's working hard. We have all the parts and pieces, and guys are doing a good job. So Richmond, hopefully we can turn it around here and get that points lead back.
What happens when you go there and, I know you're disappointed and it doesn't turn out the way you had hoped, and you're in the middle of the race? What do you do from there? Do you just try to salvage a good finish? Do you look at things that you can bring back to Nashville when you go back there in July? Kind of what's the thought process, Jason?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a little bit of both. You just try to manage manage the day and try to get the best finish as you can, and I think we did. We ran hard and we made some good pit calls and everything. We just didn't have any speed. So, and then you think about what you need to do better, or what you need better to come back to Nashville in the summertime there. So, it's just one of those days, like you said. So the big thing is just to learn from it and try to improve on it and bring something back to the racetrack that's better.
Is it almost a sigh of relief when you have a challenging day like that you can put that in the rearview mirror and head off to a short track, a track that you've run well over the years?
Yeah, we run well out of them all. So yeah, it's a little bit of sigh of relief, but at the same time it's disappointing. So you just you chalk it up, like I said, as a bad day. But yeah, now we're going on to Richmond, and Richmond's a great place for us. It's under the lights. Friday night race, so it doesn't get much better than that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you actually had this next generation car at Richmond last year. Is that a benefit now going back, kind of knowing what to expect with the race car?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Definitely one of the first places, really probably is the first place other than Daytona, that we've taken the new generation car back. So, you just look at your notes from the last fall and setup wise and all that, and you can adjust on it from there. But in Richmond, obviously if you take a poll through the garage area, it legitimately could be everybody's favorite racetrack. So it's always fun to go there and race.
Why is that? We were talking about that earlier. I have not found one person, whether it be in the Nationwide Series, the Truck Series, the Sprint Cup Series, heck, even the IndyCar drivers when they used to race there, that doesn't like Richmond. What is it about that racetrack that makes it such a driver's track?
I don't know. It's not one thing in particular, but it's just, it has a short track feel. It's considered a short track, but it has enough speed where you have to take care of your car. You have to have some aerodynamics. And I think just the atmosphere there and the fact that there's always two grooves of racing. And it's the best of both worlds there. You have some speed, but you have some little bit of short track attitude going on there. So it's pretty cool. If I was going to design a racetrack from scratch, it would be really close to Richmond, and I think you've seen that. You've seen it through Iowa and stuff, and they produced some really good races there so far. So that size and shape of the racetrack seems to be about perfect.
No matter whether it's Friday night or whether it's Saturday night, Turn 2 is going to reach out and pop somebody. How much does Turn 2 narrow up?
It narrows up, especially when you're up under somebody or someone's up under you, or it really gets narrow, because obviously the Turn 1 entrance is so wide and it's so sweeping, and then all of a sudden Turn 2, the wall kind of pops out, and and you kind of struggle with forward bite out of that corner. So if you're up under somebody and they pinch you down, it's easy to get loose and get up into them, and then for them to hit the wall, or if your car's not handled quite right, it seems to be turned to pop the wall every now and then. But it's that is probably one of the most challenging parts of the racetrack is turn 2. And if you get your car turning really well in the middle of 1 and 2, you can really make some time up out of that little area.
What about pit road? And I guess the first question is where would you rather be on pit road? I know a lot of people take the first part of pit road there for the entrance in. A lot of people want to be at the front end of pit road. What would be the best place for you in your opinion?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're not in pit stall number 1 from sitting on the pole, I like to be somewhere in the straight line, actually. The curves are hard to get in and out of, unless you catch them right at the end of the curve or the beginning, and you can kind of aim yourself out. But as a driver, it's hard to pick your pit when you're turning left. So on the curve, for me, it's hard to get in and out of the box. So I like to pick in a straight line and, down in the middle of the track. But yeah, pit road is narrow. It's hard to get onto under a green flag stop, and it's really hard to get off of too. So just part of the challenges of that little racetrack that makes it so fun.
250 laps at Richmond, not a long time. 400 laps, obviously, the following night. 250 laps has a tendency to go by pretty quick. Is there a sense of urgency when the green flag flies that, number one, the race is going to be short, and that if we go green for a long period of time, you may find yourself behind the 8 ball and go a lap down? Yeah,
exactly. If you have any issues at all, if they happen at the beginning of the race, you can usually recover. But anytime after the middle part of the race on, you have a hard time recovering. So, yeah, I mean, it's a short race. It goes quick. It seems to go quick from inside the car. And, yeah, it is a sprint race, and it seems shorter than some of the other races. So, yeah, there is a little sense of urgency. Seems like there's always a couple cautions at the beginning, and then it kind of goes into a green flag spell through the middle, and then at the end you have 3 or 4 cautions. So, and it seems like if you look at the history of it, the races of the last few years have all played out that way. So, yeah, I mean, and I tell you, when it gets into 20 to go and you have those restarts, that's when the urgency really steps up, and that's why you see all those cautions.
Yeah, I mean, it is such a racy track, and I know you guys all like racing there, but how difficult is it to make up spots? And I guess the question is, if you get kind of a middle-of-the-pack qualifying effort, how difficult is that to overcome to get up front?
Well, I mean, I think if your car's handling good, you can get up there because there is 2 grooves. It's hard to pass nowadays with the gear rule and everything. They got us so choked down horsepower-wise, and I think if they ever open the gear rule back up, we would see better racing. Not that it isn't good now, but I think it would make it easier to pass. And but it is difficult. I mean, obviously you want to qualify in the top 10. It seems like anytime you qualify in the top 10, you can kind of maintain there, even if your car's not that good, and you can have a pretty good day. If you're 15th on back, you spend the first part of the race trying to get to the top 10 and use your stuff up, and you obviously are in danger of going a lap down. But I don't know, Kyle Busch isn't in the field this weekend, so that might be a good thing. That might keep a lot keep a lot of people from going a lap down.
Yeah, the 18 car will be there, but it'll be Kelly Byers behind the wheel. You're right about that. Richmond is 2 days away, but how far down the road are you looking, Jason? Are you looking down the road at all in terms of this busy stretch coming up and some other racetracks, or is it basically just let's just take this one weekend at a time?
Yeah, I take it 1 week at a time. I hardly know where we're going. I just realized we're going to Darlington after Richmond, so. We just right now we're just trying to improve our cars and try to get a package that works everywhere, or a good baseline. And so right now all our focus is on Richmond, and then but as we say that, yeah, the guys in the shop are building our Darlington car. We got a brand new car we're taking to Darlington, so you always think a couple weeks out, but in this business you can't get too far ahead, not until later in the season.
Well, enjoy getting back to the short track this weekend. I know you're going to be looking forward to racing in the Bubba Burgers 250 Friday night at Richmond International Raceway. Live coverage, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Motor Racing Network and here at Sirius NASCAR Radio Channel 128. Go give them heck. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
All right, guys. Thank you.